Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we are going to be looking at two green skin battles that I played against Hamilton in quick battle. And so we played two in a row, which I thought was really fun. And so he's brought, of course, the Empire Army, and I, of course, brought my wonderful Savage Orcs that I love so much. Three of them have chevrons because extra money. You can see I've got a lot of leadership bonuses here, so it's going to be really hard to rout these guys. I've got 6 Savage Orcs as my main line here. Supporting them, I have 3 Goblin Big Bosses just on foot, so they can be really cheap. I have 1 Boar Boy out on the flank over here, and I have 1 over here to protect my heroes. I have Wurzag on his boar, and he is going to be casting some spells. I kept casting Gaze of Mork this battle. I cast it like 3 times, but it never went off, but it still took my mana, so I don't know, something to look at. It was definitely a waste there and definitely did not help. And of course I have my wonderful spider, my favorite part of the green skin lineup. And let's go take a look over here. He's got an interesting army here. Very sneaky. He's got 4 spearmen here on the flanks with shields. He's got 2 spearmen with shields in the back. He's got a core of 3 flagellants. In the front, there's 2 handgunners. Great choice for sniping out a spider. And he's got a steam tank here to hold up the middle of his force. Over here, you can see he has a Karl Franz up on Deathclaw, so definitely something to watch out for. And over here, he's got hidden a Demigryph Knight with halberds and a Jade Wizard. So he can be casting spells from back here, healing up everybody, but I can't see him. So definitely a good move there. And I'm going to see he has artillery, and so I'm immediately going to start moving up. Can kind of watch from this guy's perspective. Shooting at my Savage Orc line. Here you can see he's moving up his handgunners, so of course I'm going to spawn some spiders, get them charging. I really don't want my Savage Orcs to be shot. That is what they're weak against. So if I can sacrifice these guys to only let them get 1 volley in, that is what I'm going to do. So good move pulling out here, going to replace him with the flagellants. Exactly what you want to do in a situation like this. Bad move. Don't let your hero just come up here all alone like this, especially one as soft and squishy as Wurzag. See my spider sitting back, waiting for the right moment. Finally going to pull out over here, and I'm going to swarm this steam tank with just this guy, and hopefully bring one of these biggins here into combat with it to really do some damage. He's done a nice job here of balling up here, getting into a really defensive position, using his flagellants and his steam tank as kind of like a baiting core. But I'm going to get a nice rear charge here with my boar biggins, and he's going to come down here to help his steam tank with his general. And I'm gonna try and get my biggins and my hero in there to start doing some damage. Oh, here you can see I just cast a Foot of Gork. Missed it, but did some good damage there. And I'm gonna bring my spider in to help. I tried to click on Deathclaw, but it went up against the spider. Here he's gonna spring his ambush with his Demigryph Knights with halberds. And so I'm gonna be moving this boar biggin, and I'm gonna pull the boar biggin out of here to go try and deal with this guy. And what I'm going to do, I think is really sneaky, is spawn a unit of spiders right in here as to allow my boar biggins here to get the charge. But you can see the rest of this battle is not going super well. I got some biggins over here slaughtering some spears. I'm bogged down with the flagellants with my Savage Orcs. But you can see I have a Goblin Big Boss over here to make sure they don't rout. And I have a Goblin Big Boss over here to support this flank, and my main hero is supporting my Wurzag here is supporting this. Definitely something to watch out for. So here I'm going to get a nice charge. My spiders are going to come in. But still my biggins aren't going to be doing the best here. I'm just going to be charging my guys in straight in here, and so they're not going to get the best charge. It would have been much better if I'd swung around the side and then charged. I think I would have been able to deal with these guys a little bit better. You can see finally dealing a little bit of damage to this steam tank, but I've ran out of spiders and I've left. Oh yeah, see there, I tried to cast that spell, but it didn't work. And I've left these guys open to fire, and that's not okay, so I'm going to tie them down with Wurzag. But he is super isolated here. That's not what I want. You can see over here, I've done considerable damage, but I'm also losing. All of these fights are losing slightly, and there's terror here, so they're not going to last too long. You can see my Savage Orcs terrified. And Wurzag's getting swarmed by some spears, but I get a nice rear charge with these Savage Orcs, and so they're going to be torn apart, but I really need to get Wurzag out of that combat. You can see my Spider coming in here to help clean up. Karl Franz getting away, but this is where the Jade Wizard comes in, I think. Wurzag here is not going to like being charged like that, and so he's going to eat it. Not what I'm looking for. Definitely not going to help my morale, but luckily I still have my 3 big bosses spread around the map. One's over here, making sure these biggins aren't getting terrified off the field. And one's over here, supporting this side, and one's over here, supporting this side. So definitely what I'm looking for. Wurzag goes down. I'm starting to get some fire from the handgunners. You can see Earthblood is going to be healing up all these units as like a last stand. And you can see the steam tank does not like being in battle with these biggins. Especially when they can't be terrified because of the goblin. You can get a close-up here of this fighting with the Savage Orcs. Slaughtering the last spearman. Breaking the holdout in front of Marbad's tomb. Man. Empire soldiers are brave. You can see the corpse of Karl Franz here. The spider ate him. Oh, there he goes. Spearman running away. Now it's just kind of flagellants left. Steam tank. You can watch this. Oh, right as it explodes. My units are going to move on. Definitely one of the coolest units in the game right here. Steam tank. And so that was the first one. The Jade Wizard, no kills, but he was kind of just supporting. Karl Franz did some key damage to Wurzag. It might have been helpful if he had charged the Spider to try and deal some damage to that. You can definitely do a lot of damage by charging these guys with heroes, especially armor-piercing heroes like Griffins. You can see surprisingly good kills on 2 of these Spearmen, especially when going up against such high attack units like Savage Orcs. They have a hard time paying for themselves. Over on this side, the Flagellants all doing pretty good. 40 kills for a 550 gold unit. Handgunners definitely did some damage to Wurzag, but other than that, they weren't really. With the amount of spiders that can come out of that Ragnarok Queen, it's very difficult to use these guys. I definitely like the pick of the Steam Tank. I think I'm going to be trying some Steam Tank builds here in the future, but you just have to keep them away from biggins. Orc Boar Boy biggins and biggins, so that they can, it's an expensive unit and has to pay for itself if you want to win here. Surprisingly, the Demigryph Halberd did pretty good for being charged by 3 units. Still managed to pull out some kills. Over here, this is the Goblin Big Boss that was attacking the Steam Tank. This was the biggin that was attacking the Steam Tank, so that's really all they did. And if that's all they do, they pay for themselves, because this is 700 plus 300, so it's 1,000. It's like half the price of the Steam Tank. Wurzag here getting some kills, mostly from Foot of Gork. You can see good kills on these Goblin Big Bosses, but their main goal here is to support the Savage Orcs, and you can see just 118, 105, 83, 74, tearing through the Spearman line of the Empire. Over here, 45 kills. That's probably the one that rear charged the Flagellants. and this one just died against the halberds. And the spider, mostly going after high priority targets. Surprised it didn't get more kills. So let's hop into the next one. So it was really fun just to think about fighting the same person twice. So I decided to bring a very similar army, but this time I kind of saw how vulnerable Wurzag was, and I don't know. I just wanted to change it up a little bit, so I brought the 2 orc goblin big bosses here, supporting my main line of savage orcs. But instead of Wurzag, I brought a orc shaman and a orc war boss. So my magic is no longer tied to my main general. And this guy, why this guy is useful? Unlike the goblin shaman, this guy has an encourage aura like the goblin big bosses. So he can be used in the same way, even if you're out of mana, which is helpful. I have, again, an orc biggin on each flank, supported by orc boarboy biggins. And this time I decided to not have that kind of strong flank, and I decided to deploy to each side and decide what to do with them then. And I had 375, whatever, so I brought a goblin archer. Most people ignore them, which is the only way they pay for themselves, is they can be ignored, and everything's fine. And then they can shoot in, do some damage to some handgunners, or do some damage to some high, large units like Griffin. So he has changed up his build a little bit, which is fun to see. It's interesting to see how people react to a build and then how they try and change it. So he's gone for a huge, cheap main line, just like me. He has 4 spearmen here, 4 swordsmen on each side. In front of them a handgunner, and between them a handgunner, so lots of handgunners to watch out for. He has 1 greatsword, in the middle of this unit, which is weird, but oh well, super cool. I'm a little afraid to bring them lately because I feel like they're not as powerful in the most recent patch, but it's good to see them. Halberd units, love these guys, definitely bring them in every battle. Definitely helpful for dealing with spiders. And supporting this line, just like my goblin big bosses, he has 3 empire captains here. So, cheap main line supported by encourage auras, spread across the line. And of course he has Karl Franz on Deathclaw. So I'm going to start advancing my Savage Orc line. He's going to fall back. Maybe try and use this rock to hold down one of his flanks. Great idea. And I'm just going to be marching straight forward. I'm not too eager to get into combat because I want my mana to recharge. He doesn't have a wizard, but I do. So any time that we wait is going to be kind of in my favor. So something to be aware of when you don't bring a wizard is the enemy is slowly getting more powerful while you are slowly staying the same, I guess. So here I'm going to spawn this spider right outside of his range so I can try and do the same on this side. But I do it a little too close. But I'm going to be charging them now. Again, anything to protect my Savage Orc line here. They have amazing morale. I'm going to be spawning another one here. So this is the danger of having these spiders in the front line. You can see just one volley did a lot of damage. And so I'm going to get in there and stop it, but that's 3 of my spiders down. Forgot this boar biggin, of course. And I push 1 around to flank and 1 to support. So I'm going to get some great free charges here into these swordsmen, which is going to help me win. And I'm going to get some Savage Orcs into these handgunners, which is where they don't want to be. They're going to get completely decimated. Here, I'm going to try and charge into the back of these swordsmen to try and rout them real quick. Here you can see, there we go, coming off, and that's going to boost these Savage Orcs to a crazy amount of attack. These Biggins are going to be coming around the flank. My heroes are about to come in, but I lose micro, and these halberds get in the way, and they're going to start slaughtering these poor boar boy Biggins. Here we go. You can see the Ragnarok Queen getting shot at, spiders attacking handgunners, my final two. So they are slowly whittling down my ability to spawn spiders. So you can see the swordsman here just not able to stand up to all this. I think I just I probably didn't put a gork these guys yet. But. Oh, here it comes. Right on their most valuable unit. Boom! Spider's not going to care. The great swords definitely are. It's going to do some good damage there. You can see these handgunners opening fire, and just how quickly my spider's dropping. Definitely something to be worried about. But it is providing a distraction, so I'm able to do some solid damage to Karl Franz. Start cracking through the swordsman line. My goblin archers are trying to silence them, but failing. These halberdiers are coming in. I definitely don't want that. Still have my boar Biggins back there. I'm able to get the remnant of some spiders in there. And they're going to start tearing them up in combination with the goblin archers. So now their back is turned. Great move here, pulling Karl Franz out and using him to clean up the spider hatchlings. That's good stuff. But my boar boy Biggins are now free. So they're going to charge into the back of these halberds to try and release my spider. And they're gonna do a lot of damage here. There's a lot of terror causing effects, and the balance bar has shifted, so it's not looking too good here. These handgunners as they try and kill this spider, with the boar Biggins coming in chasing him, looks so silly. But I'm gonna bring these guys back around and charge Karl Franz. Try and end the Emperor of Mankind. We'll follow him as he runs. I wasn't able to. He's able to get away, rally the Empire in another battle against the Greenskins. You can see here, about 20 kills per swordsman. Definitely, they're not going to be the killing power of your army. Like I said in my general Empire build. These guys are not expected to be heavy lifting in the killing department. They're just there to soak up damage for the powerhouse killing units of the Empire, like the artillery or the steam tank or something else. You can see here the great sword just outmatched there in the middle with the two heroes and the foot of Gork. But you can see good kills here on one of the halberds, probably the one that got into my boar boy Biggins. That was a great intercept. That charge was really good. And you can see here the handgunners, just if you have them behind their line, they're so much easier to protect. You don't have to micro them. Definitely where you want them to be, especially when there's a large target on the field like a spider. But you can see here not very many kills on the spider. Not very many kills on the boar boy Biggins. Just a ton of kills here on the Savage Orcs. Like, they are the main threat here. 141, 73, 92, 76. It's crazy. With Irigo or Wa, they can just be devastating. Same with the Biggins, definitely something to watch out for when you are the Empire. Well, anyway, so if you're watching this and you like playing the Empire, I would love to hear an army build that you might take against one of these main Savage Orc mainline armies that are kind of hard to rout. So if you have an idea of what you want to do, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, and that's that.